Here is the most absurd fact. If Yonko, Shanks, and Hero Garp joined the Straw Hats after Alabasta, One Piece wouldn't be a struggle, it would be an absolute massacre. Forget training arcs, forget near-death experiences. What happens when a rookie pirate crew is protected by two literal gods who actually fight his battles for him? Let's speedrun 40 mind-blowing domino effects up to the Egghead era. 1. The VIP Captain. Luffy is no longer a struggling rookie. He becomes the most spoiled pirate captain in history, sitting back while his grandpa and uncle annihilate his enemies. 2. Bellamy's obliteration. At Mocktown, Bellamy laughs at Luffy's dreams. Garp casually flicks a peanut at Bellamy so hard it sends him flying into the ocean. 3. The Skypiea joke. They reach Skypiea. Enel drops a massive lightning bolt, calling himself a god. Shanks just glares, and his Conqueror's haki evaporates the lightning instantly. 4. Enel's trauma. Before Luffy even lifts a finger, Garp jumps to the Maxim arc and punches Enel into the moon an entire hour early. 5. Aokiji's apology. Aokiji tries to freeze Robin. Garp cracks his knuckles, and Aokiji immediately bows in deep apology, paying for the crew's lunch before running away. 6. Water 7 cancelled. CP9 attempts to kidnap Robin at Water 7. Shanks draws his sword, Griffin, and releases a bloodlust so terrifying the entire CP9 surrenders on their knees. 7. Spandam's nightmare. Spandam tries to trigger the Buster Call. Garp intercepts the Den Mushi, yells at Sengoku to mind his own business, and crushes the Golden Snail. 8. Enies Lobby skipped. Because Robin is never taken, the Straw Hats never invade Enies Lobby. The world government realizes this crew is officially untouchable. 9. Thriller Bark purified. Gecko Moria sends his zombies. Shanks releases one burst of Supreme King's haki, and every single shadow instantly purifies itself, leaving Moria crying alone. 10. Kuma retreats. Kuma arrives to test Zoro's loyalty. Seeing Shanks and Garp drinking tea on the deck, Kuma realizes testing them is a suicide mission and leaves. 11. Sabo D VIPs. At Sabo D, a celestial dragon tries to buy Kami. Garp punches him straight through the auction house, shouting, "I'm retired, you rich trash!" 12. Kizaru clapped. Admiral Kizaru arrives. He tries to kick at light speed, but Garp grabs his leg, slams him into the ground, and tells him to go back to sleep. 13. Amazon Lily panic. Boa Hancock tries to turn the crew to stone. Shanks blocks it effortlessly. Hancock falls in love with Luffy anyway because he commands such strong men. 14. Impel Down speedrun. Luffy invades Impel Down. Magellan tries to use poison, but Shanks coats his sword in advanced Conqueror's haki and splits the poison dragon in half without touching it. 15. Marineford invasion. The Straw Hats arrive at Marineford to save Ace, but this time, Sengoku sees Garp leading the pirate charge and gets a severe panic attack. 16. Akainu's mistake. Akainu tries to execute Ace. Garp uses Galaxy Impact, and Shanks uses Divine Departure simultaneously. Akainu is completely vaporized from existence. 17. Blackbeard's end. Blackbeard arrives to steal Whitebeard's fruit. Shanks speed blitzes him immediately, cutting Teach's head off before he can even finish his villain speech. 18. Whitebeard retires. Marineford ends with 0 casualties for the pirates. Whitebeard happily retires, handing his empire over to Marco and thanks Luffy's absurd crew. 19. Fishman Island panic. Hody Jones tries to rebel with 100,000 fishmen. Garp just sighs and uses a single Conqueror's haki burst, instantly knocking out all 100,000 of them. 20. Punk Hazard easy mode. Caesar Clown tries to steal the oxygen. Shanks cuts the entire laboratory in half from outside, exposing Caesar instantly. 21. Doflamingo surrender. Law forms an alliance, but it's useless. Doflamingo hears Garp and Shanks are on the Sunny and immediately resigns as a warlord, begging for mercy. 22. Birdcage shattered. Doflamingo uses the birdcage out of desperation. Zoro, trained directly by Shanks, cuts the birdcage open with a single supreme slash. 23. Jack gets sunk. Jack the Drought tries to attack Zoe. Garp throws a giant cannonball so fast it sinks Jack's entire fleet before they even see the elephant. 24. Crashing Big Mom's party. They arrive at Whole Cake Island to get Sanji. Katakuri uses Future Sight and immediately tells Big Mom, "Mom, surrender. We are going to die."
25. Big Mom humbled. Big Mom attacks anyway. Garp punches her homies into dust, while Shanks completely overpowers her sword Napoleon, forcing her to negotiate.
26. Wano Country Invasion. The crew arrives in Wano. Kaido turns into his massive dragon form and breathes fire. Garp literally blocks the fire with his bare chest. 27. Kaido's humiliation. Kaido challenges them. Shanks and Garp tag team the Yonko. Kaido is beaten so badly he completely loses his title as the strongest creature. 28. Gear 5 Awakening. Luffy doesn't awaken Gear 5 by dying. He awakens it purely out of absolute joy, laughing hysterically while watching his grandpa beat up a Yonko. 29. The Ultimate Party. Wano is freed in less than a day. The Straw Hats throw a massive banquet and Garp forces Trafalgar Law to wash the dishes. 30. Egghead Island. The crew reaches Egghead. Admiral Kizaru and St. Saturn arrive to assassinate Vegapunk, expecting an easy fight. 31. Kizaru traumatized. Kizaru remembers his beating at Sabaody. Seeing Garp again, Kizaru immediately fakes a serious injury and refuses to leave the battleship. 32. Agorosei beaten. St. Saturn uses his immortal demonic form. Shanks uses his absolute conqueror's haki to permanently disable Saturn's regeneration abilities. 33. The giant robot awakens. The ancient iron giant awakens, confused. But instead of apologizing to Joy Boy, it just joins the crew's massive party. 34. Ima-sama sphere. Sitting on the empty throne, Ima-sama realizes the Straw Hat crew is too powerful to be stopped by any ancient weapon. 35. Cross-Guild panics. Buggy, Crocodile, and Mihawk form Cross-Guild, but Mihawk refuses to hunt any Marines because he absolutely refuses to fight Shanks and Garp. 36. The One Piece found. With 0 obstacles, the crew reaches Laugh Tale in exactly 2 months. Roger's legendary treasure is finally revealed. 37. Joy Boy's true will. Luffy learns the true history, but instead of starting a war, Garp casually walks into Mary Geoise and forces the Gorosei to surrender. 38. The Navy restructured. The corrupt world government collapses. Garp reforms the Navy, making Kobe the new fleet admiral, strictly focusing on true justice. 39. Shanks retires. Having ensured the dawn of the new world, Shanks peacefully retires, leaving his straw hat permanently with the new Pirate King. 40. The laziest Pirate King. Luffy officially becomes the strongest Pirate King in history, completely spoiled, realizing he conquered the world while barely breaking a sweat. The most broken cheat code timeline in anime history. If Garp and Shanks really teamed up, could even Prime Roger stop them? Start a war in the comments, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow.